I am Abhinav Singh, Joint Director Infra in Ministry of Railway. Today, I am going to discuss about Indian Railways and its effect on the Indian economy, which is everybody knows. So, in this topic, I am going to discuss what are the things Indian Railways has done to increase its share in the Indian economy. So let's start the presentation. 1425775,850. Anyone from the audience know about this number? Anyone? So, 1425775,850.
Population?
Correct, sir. It's the Indian population in the month of April, and we have become the world largest populated country in the world. So with the increase of the population, our desire also increase and the demand in the economy also increase. To fulfill those demands and the desire, we have to increase our GDP as well as our economy. Next. So 75 trillion. And below the GDP, there is one thing is there. GDP is proportional to the export. So if we want to increase the GDP, we have to increase our export. There is a direct relationship. So to taking this note, the Ministry of Commerce, taking this note, you can see the overall export of India in year 2022-23. As you can see, in year 2022-23, we have done an export of 776 billion. And out of which 450 billion is of merchandise export and remaining is of 326 billion of service export. By the merchandise export, Ministry of Commerce means all the tangible assets which we are exporting to the outside world. So in the past 9 years, you can see that there is a growth of 74% in the export from 456 billion to 766 billion. So you remember this figure, it's a quite important figure, and the next slide I'm going to show you what we are going to do in the future. By year 2020-30, our Honorable Minister has put a target of 2 trillion export. So from 776 billion to 2 trillion. The importance of this number is that we are going to expand our export by 158%. So in order to expand such amount of expand our export, we need a proper logistic, and to support that, there should be some policy to be designed. So I am talking about this figure of 1,000 billion. Which is a merchandise export. The importance of the merchandise export is directly proportional with our railway system. So which is you can say the tangible export which we are doing, which includes, you can say the grain, machineries, etc. So ministry has designed a national logistic policy. The targets are very clear from the ministry side, that we have to reduce our logistic costs, and we have to increase our ranking in the world and create a data-driven decision support mechanism. So every policy is having some impediments. To fulfill or to overcome those impediments, one has to do a lot of hard work. So let's see what are the impediments right now our logistics sector is facing. So in the past session, our speaker had discussed about the modal share. So you can see this is the current modal share of the logistic being carried out in India. So roadways is carrying about 61% of our logistics, whereas Indian Railways is taking the share of only 27%, and remaining 12% you can consider this as others, which are the pipelines. We are transporting our petroleum product, gases, etc. So this model share is quite interesting. in comparison to the developed nation. We are in the developing phase and we are soon to become a developed nation. So we have to change this pie chart. In order to change this pie chart, one has to do a lot of hard work. So if we continue to follow the same model, right now India is at 14% of the logistic cost of GDP, whereas the USA is at 8% and Europe is around 10%. This all data has been taken from the Niti Aayog report and which are available on the open forum. So you can read Niti Aayog report and you can see that right now the Indian logistic cost is coming around 14%. And if we are going to follow the same skew model, this logistic cost is not going to reduce. And we have designed a national policy to reduce our logistic cost. And in this present world, when everybody is talking about global warming, so carbon emission right now in year 2020 is around 200 million tons. And by 2050 is going to increase by 1,200 million tons in India because of that skew model. So nobody is going to accept that amount of carbon emitted by the India in the year 2050. So there should be something we have to do, and Railway has decided to do something which is known as the National Railway Plan Vision 2020-30. The plan is very clear that we have to reduce the carbon, how to reduce the carbon, and how to increase the freight. You can see the objective of the National Rail Plan is to increase the modal share by 45%. In the previous slide, I have shown you the modal share is around 27%. Now we have to increase to 45%. So near about, you can say 75% growth or 80% growth. We have to increase our average speed of the trains to 50 kmph. And the third part is the new dedicated freight corridor. Recently, in the previous session, our panelist, Shri Pankaj sir, is there. So we are having 2 dedicated freight corridors. Around 80% of them have been completed. And they are going to play a very vital role to achieve the target of 45% of the freight load. And the last one is the objective of 100% electrification. Indian Railway is doing a tremendous job, and by year 2020-23, we are going to be 100% electrified, first country in the world, completely electrified. This will help us to reduce the import of the fossil fuel, which in terms also help in our economy because we have to expand our forex to purchase those fossil fuel. And in the future, you can say electricity as a green source of energy, part of electricity as a green source of energy. In future, it will become a 100% green source of energy. So this is the capex which railway is doing in its infrastructure. In year 2022-23, we have done a capex of 245 crores. So from year 2014-15, there is a 58,000 crore, and now we have reached to 2 crore 45,000. So it's around 4x capex we are doing, and you can see the future. 2023-24, we are going to do a capex around 260,000 crores. This chart is quite important for the audience. You can see the chart. In 2009 to 14, we have done a commissioning of 1,520 kilometers. And 14-19, around 2,600 kilometers. But suddenly you see there is a jump in year 2021 and 22. We are approximately 2,900 commissioning. 2,900 kilometers we have commissioned. What we have done in 5 years, we are doing in 1 year. And suddenly you can see there is a jump in year 2022-23 of 5,000 kilometers. So you can see how fast we are doing expansion, improving our infrastructure to increase our modal share. So other key things which we are doing to increase our logistic part, to increase our share, is that in Madhepura, we have, in PPP mode, we have gone for a factory with Alstom, and we are developing a locomotive of 12,000 horsepower. Similarly, with the Siemens, there is a 9,000 horsepower electric locomotive being produced. So this will cater the future demand also and the present demand. And in terms of rolling stock, other part, that is wagons, you can see the snapshot of the news has been taken that railway invites a bid of 9,000 wagons and 60,000 wagons. So you can see the amount of infrastructure expenditure being done by the railways, and the ministry vision is quite clear that we have to increase our modal share and we have to be a part of a rising economy. Without railway, I don't think so there will be any future in logistic. We have to take that share and we are moving towards that. So Gati Shakti Cargo Terminal. This is one of the interesting things that railway is doing with the private sector. Right now we have commissioned 30 Gati Shakti Cargo Terminal under PPP mode. Location and around 73 potential cargo terminal has been identified. The advantage that railway want to attract more amount of load from the private sector, which is going towards the roadways earlier. So our policy is very clear, our vision is very clear, and our direction is very clear. So in the end, I will show you our performance. So this is our loading performance, which we have achieved. You can see in year 2014-15, we have achieved approximately 1,000 metric ton loading, and last year, 2022-23, we have achieved 1,500 metric ton, approximately 1,500 metric ton freight loading. But the interesting part is that railway has made a mission of 3,000. What is that? Mission 3000 means that by year 2027, we have to achieve our loading to 3000. Means we have to double our current loading from 1500 to 3000 within a period of 4. And rest in year 2030, I'll leave upon the audience to decide what will be the future of Indian Railways, what will be the loading performance. Thank you. That's all from my side.